Breathe in. Welcome to What the Fuchs with Jess Fuchs. Now breathe out. And scream. Because here's what's pissed Jess off this week. Hey, let's get it done. Hello, good morning, good evening, whatever time of day, wherever you are crossing live. You are not watching this. I can feel it. Most of you are listening. Well, fuck you, because today I'm dressed quite matronly. Not on purpose. I just wanted a big Hessian sack to throw over my bloated menstrual cycle body. And I have sat down and I literally look like a milkmaid cross wet nurse. And it happens. I'm not going to say it doesn't happen. It's happened to the best of us. It's happened to most likely the worst of us. It is big. It has flouncy sleeves. And I love this piece. I love it. I really do. It's blue. It's bright blue. So I'm kind of like modern wet nurse, because I don't think those wet nurses, I think blues and purples were reserved for majority of the time the royals, and the wet nurses were just some women who either had babies 10 years ago and kept tweaking their nipples to stimulate the milk growth, or I don't really know. My limited knowledge of history means that oftentimes when I make an analogy to something that I am like from the past, it's wrong. And that's okay. Not everything I say or you say needs to be factual. It just has to be said with confidence. The last time I dressed like a milkmaid, it was a while ago. I'm going to actually see if my friend Gina has the picture still. It was 2018 and I needed a new picture for a passport. And I went to work and I worked in a corporate office and I loved this dress. I really loved the dress. In the mirror, it looked good. When I looked down, it looked good. But for some reason, it did not photograph well. And there are just outfits that do not photograph well. There are some outfits that I won't wear if I know I'm going to be sitting. There are some outfits I wear if I know I'm going to be standing. And if you don't have those kinds of outfits, you either have the best body and there's no rolls or no like kind of curves or hidden portions. I think of my body kind of like, what's that movie with Nicolas Cage where he is hunting for treasure something, and it's treasure, no, we're going to do this from memory, because apparently the way you stave off Alzheimer's is you have to think about the thing. Treasure, national fucking treasure, bitch, I'm never getting Alzheimer's. I think my body is national treasure. You have to add a bunch of clues up together to get to like the gold. And once you see the gold, you're like, wow, the lost Aztec gold of yesteryear. But on the way there's a lot of problems. You're like, oh, I don't think that's right. Or like, what were our founding fathers trying to hide in those creases and just like all the clues you got to kind of put together. Like a troll going under a bridge. Well, I think a troll doesn't go under the bridge. The troll lives under the bridge, but gives you the clues. My body is both the bridge, the troll, and the clues. So what can you do? So I got dressed in this outfit and it was like a linen, knee-length, cinched waist, grey, what I didn't know, see-through dress with a very similar shape to this. It had a collar, it was like button-up, and I wore it to work and I thought it looked amazing. It didn't help that I had also braided my hair for the aesthetic for some reason that day. I don't know. I think I thought I was going to look really good in my passport photo, which my co-workers were going to have to take for me. So during lunch, we go upstairs to the conference room, which I never booked out but always used because I wanted to avoid work at all costs. And I was actually really good at it. If they gave out awards or kind of bonuses for people time wasting, I was up there. One, I was having diarrhea pretty regularly and that took more time than you think. And I was pretty generous with kind of the window before and after that I would allow myself to sit on the toilet. Two, I was doing all sorts of personal tasks like using their Photoshop license to make my posters for my shows. So I was a pretty good corporate time waster, which I think is something to be heralded and celebrated. They take these photos of me in the conference room. The lighting is abysmal, but I thought, natural beauty, that does enough of that'll do enough heavy lifting. There was some natural light streaming in from the windows. My outfit was good in my mind. And when we review these photos, when I tell you my breasts have never looked bigger, fuller, and longer. They weren't perky. They were milkmaid, 10 years deep, working for the crown and feeding every child that needed something. Even the teenagers were coming for a suckle. That's how big and long and weathered these breasts looked. And we were shook. And I said to them, how dare you not tell me, one, that I look disgusting, and two, that it is see-through. And I'm sitting in meetings with the boss that I have a crush on, who, has children, and when I flirt with him, laughs at me like I am a clown for hire. That dress was... I threw it out as soon as I got home. I mean, you could literally see my bra, and it wasn't a cute one, because I didn't know it was see-through. I was going for comfort, and I thought I was going for shape and speed and agility and compactness. I was going for milkmaid. I was going for turn of the century peasant woman, got a promotion and gets to live in the basement of a castle kind of look. So today, though I am in the same shape, I have made improvements. One, it's colour. Two, it's not see-through that I know of, but who's to say I don't start to edit this and find out. Also, in addition to the aesthetic of the milkmaid, I am going to be honest with you, my thumb is infected. I can feel the blood rushing to the thumb to try to fucking fix it. And I don't have a doctor's appointment, and I've been trying my best with soaking it in Dettol and antiseptics and putting cream on it and just not touching it, but it is hot, and I am almost sure. I started imagining my life without a thumb yesterday. I'm sitting here going, oh my God, what would I say when I go in to get my nails done? I'm sure it would be like kind of a fun trick to be like, oh, just 9 fingers, please. Like I started imagining a world in which I didn't have a thumb, and it wasn't looking good. I mean, obviously I would make, changes, and I would thrive. That's me. No matter what you do, I am a cactus. My friend who's a clinical psychologist told me that there are 2 types of people. 1 are cacti. 2 are... God damn, why can't I remember the fucking flower? Because I killed a whole bunch of them when I house sit recently. I house sat, and instead of giving me adequate instructions about how to care for his dog and the plants in his attic, he said, these plants are from my mum when she was in the Alzheimer's ward, and please don't kill them, just feed them. And I said, how often? He said, spray them every few days. Okay, so I write all the instructions down. No worries, I'm across it. Let's get into it. I'm looking after your dead mum's plants. You've kept them alive for 3 years. But these are orchids. Oh my God, sense memory taking me back, remembering what they are. These orchids, these delicate flowers, you have kept alive lovingly for 3 years as a part of your mother's legacy. And here I am, some fucking loser staying at your house for a month. What do you think happened to these orchids? They died along with the memory of his mother, and I felt guilty. I fell asleep and woke up every day thinking about these orchids, and I was worried. I was worried every moment. I called my dad. I made my dad come to the house. I said, you need to look at these fucking orchids because I am killing his mother twice over. I am a murderer. And my dad said, I'm so sorry. There's nothing you can do. Just feed them as regularly as he said. I said, I have been feeding them as regularly as he said. And now they are covered in white, crusty mold that is like if you dried something in the sun and then could flick it off. But it was everywhere. I felt so guilty. And then I didn't know what to say. When he got back, I wasn't even there when he got back. I left in the morning and he got back from his international trip at night, and I thought, God, he's going to fall to his knees and look at these empty stems and think that bitch killed my mother. And he'd be right. So my friend who's a therapist, she told me there's an orchid and there's a cactus, and you're one of 2, and that's apparently how they think of people. If you're an orchid, it doesn't matter what happens to you, you are not tough, you will crumble. Life could be easy, life could be hard. Either way, you are falling to your knees. But you could also be a cactus. You barely need water. You can survive in tough conditions and you just keep going. Now, I identify as a cactus. What you see me as is none of my business. If you think, oh, you're sitting there, oh no, you're actually an orchid. Well, keep that to your fucking self, bitch. Week after week, I come here and I bare my soul for you, for entertainment. And what are you doing for me? Nay, I have not received a write-in this week. I have not received a complaint this week. No DMs, no submissions online. What are you bitches doing for me? I would like you to pick up your pitchforks and start defending me as a milkmaid, as a wet nurse in this town square. I may not be the queen, but I am a hearty soldier. I am a sturdy pillar of this community, providing for all of you. There's only so much a woman can take. Anywho, none of this was what I wanted to talk about today, but here we find ourselves, And sometimes isn't that just what we need? Sometimes you go to therapy with a clear intention of what you would like to do. You come for it with an agenda. Well, at least I do sometimes. And then other times, You just dilly-dally. You go, I don't know, nothing's been happening. What are some long-standing issues we could kind of unpack in the next 60 minutes? Because I've come in with nothing. Sometimes I don't have anything to talk to my therapist about, so I just say, well, what would you like to talk about? And then she gets to go in on the worst parts of me, which is nice to kind of give her a bit of free play time. God, they're so structured and they have to be doing everything we say. Sometimes it's nice to just let them rip. Let them go. They're taking notes. Let's read some of them, babe. Let's get amongst it. I'm so curious what you think, the overarching picture of what you're thinking. I mean, we've been together a while now. Let me hear it, bitch. Maybe 4 or 5 sessions into meeting, she told me she was proud, and I got too excited too fast because I said, she was like, oh, I was so proud of you this week. And I was like, oh, really? Why have I improved? And she was like, because one of my coworkers said that she recognized you in the waiting room. And I was like, God, I really needed to hear that because I'm still living with my parents and I may seem more successful than I am. I not may. I do. I really do. If you ever think that things are going well for me, make no mistake. I just have parents who haven't kicked me out yet. That's it. The difference between me and you is this milkmaid dress and parents who haven't thrown me out yet and expect me to fly the coop. So I felt really good when she said that she was proud, ... because someone recognized me. It had nothing to do with any personal growth, but I'll be honest, both would make me feel good. This week's been pretty chill. I had a friend's birthday. It was actually really fun. We had dinner. Now, we did dinner and bowling. The thing is, she was late. I actually have no problem with people when they're late. If you've given me a heads up, I'll busy myself. If I'm not hearing from you and you don't show up, then we're going to have a fucking problem. It's also her birthday dinner. Show up, don't show up. It's your birthday. If my present to you is that you don't have to show up for this dinner, God bless, wrap it in some wrapping paper, put a bow on it, and consider it a happy birthday. So she was only 15 minutes late. I would say 15 minutes is an appropriate window of lateness. 30, 45, now you're fucking with me. 15 minutes, par for the course, traffic, finding parking, you need to shit yourself. Whatever your reason is that you're 15 minutes late, I'm fine with it. That's within an appropriate window to me. The thing is, I was like, babe, I don't care. But you know what? When I am late, I feel so bad. I feel constantly bad and I'm like apologizing profusely and I do feel really guilty. But for some reason, when it's someone else, I couldn't care less. And isn't that the way? We are kinder to others than we are to ourselves. I put out a video a couple years ago that went viral on TikTok and it was quite simple. I am instating a new policy. If you are late, you owe me $1 for every moment that you are late. Every minute that you are late accrues $1. People lost their mind. You don't know what it's like to have ADHD. Set your clocks early. I am very sympathetic to you having ADHD. I have dyslexia. If you'd like to go toe for toe with the Olympics of, various learning disabilities or whatever they are classified as at this point in time, I'm happy to. I have to read your fucking comment and I have dyslexia. Have you factored that in, bitch? Why don't you send me a voice note? If we're all being overly cautious of each other's issues, I respect the fact that you might have time blindness. I do too. Set your clocks early. Don't leave a comment. Stop watching so many TikToks. If you're watching this many TikToks that you've fallen on my shit, you're probably late for someone and I can't help you with that. So yeah, my friend was late to dinner. What else happened? Oh, I dropped my phone pretty bad. Thought I was going to have to buy a brand new phone because the camera on the back of the phone was all scratched up. Went to the Apple store. I made peace with the idea that I was going to have to spend $1,200 on whatever the shittiest iPhone that they currently have out, even though they're all basically much for muchness. And this man, Danny, lovely man, he's like, you have a phone case on the back of your phone on the camera. And I was like, no, I don't think so. And he's like, yeah, you do. And I was like, no, Danny, I don't. And he's like, Jess, you really do. And then he broke a nail while trying to scrape off the camera, which I did have a case on it. And isn't that just so nice? I had parted with $1,200 mentally. And this is a theory my family and I call profit. And it is something I came up with many years ago. We still reference to this day. And it's kind of a cup half full approach to money. It's completely incorrect, but I wouldn't actually admit that on the record. And it is completely financially irresponsible to think of money in this capacity. On a technical level, profit is what? I would say it's money. Let's look at the exact description. A financial gain, especially the difference between the amount earned and the amount spent in buying, operating, or producing something. Okay. Now just hold on to that definition in your mind because I've already lost it in mine. Now here is how Jess Fuchs's theory on profit works. You go to a shop, you think you're buying a $100 pair of pants. You go to the front and they go, oh, these are $20 off. So you pay $80. You have $20. You have made $20 because in your mind you had made peace with the idea that you were saying goodbye to $100 of your hard-earned money, and all of a sudden you've actually got $20 back. It doesn't matter that it didn't leave your bank account. Technically, it left your mind. You made peace with allowing your money, your hard-earned money, to go towards something you don't need. And all of a sudden, you actually get the money. You get to keep the money. Profit, profit, profit. Come on, maybe if more people thought this way, we would be in a different position financially. Countries, instead of saying we're into this much deficit, say, well, actually, we're only this much deficit because, the budget wasn't as much as we thought it was going to be. That's my theory on profit, and you might not agree with me, but I do think if you just see the world a little bit more cup half full of coins that you thought were going to be actually not in your cup, then you will be a happier person. I don't know how I feel today. I think that's why I have nothing to give. I have given enough. I've given enough of my body in this dress. I've given enough of my mind with the profit theory. And I've given enough of my spirit, metaphorically, literally, in any way that you dementors suck my spirit dry without giving me something back. As I said, I am yet to receive a complaint. I am yet to receive a write-in submission. I am yet to receive. This is a two-way street. Do not make me ask you again to contribute. I guess if you haven't, just like, subscribe, watch this on YouTube. If you're listening to it, please go watch it. I think it's more fun. I'm staring right at you. Maybe it's too scary. I think recently I've realized I don't think I'm a scary person, but I have been told recently I am scary. I don't think that's true. I think I just made that up. I think someone said something similar and I interpret it as, oh, you think I'm scary. I don't know what else to say this week. I'm leaving in a few days to go to Melbourne. I think that's why. So I'm not recording this on Tuesday morning. I mean, if you guys thought I record this at 5 a.m. on Tuesdays and then put it up at 6 a.m., you're crazy, girl. But anyway, I think I'm just thinking about how I'm going to pack in Melbourne because I was hoping Melbourne would be cold. But actually, when we looked, it is going to be really hot. And that's making me fucking furious. So I've got to go pack. As always, it's been an absolute pleasure to offer you a part of who I am and part of my soul and my body and my mind and my spirit and blah, blah, blah. So now offer me something back, bitch. And I want to say I am sorry for being aggressive today. I don't know what's going on with me. I think it's the dress. All right. Have a good week. Bye.